Hey, what's going on, tech fans? Welcome back to Tech of Tomorrow. I'm Elric, and today's co-host is JJ, Mr. ASUS himself. And what do we got going on? Well, check it out. You guys all know that Haswell's coming out, and we've got all of their desktop motherboards, at least quite a bit of them, right here on the desk. So we're going to hand the floor to JJ, and we're going to go around these boards and tell you some of the great features and things about these new Z87 series motherboards. Right?
Yeah, 100%. So as always, thanks for having me, boss.
Appreciate it. For sure.
So like you just talked about, we've done another video I'm sure you guys can check out here on the channel that covers actually kind of Haswell or the 4th generation series core processors and Z87.
And the differences.
And some of the differences. So if you guys want to find out more about just kind of some differences compared to Z77, X79.
Check out that video back here.
Yeah, check out that video. What we're trying to focus on here is giving you guys an understanding. We have an entirely new line of mainstream series motherboards. So for you guys know ASUS, there's 4 different divisions. We have our mainstream series, we have our ROG series, we have our Tough series, and we have our WS series of motherboards.
Workstation.
So here we're covering our mainstream series. So the mainstream series, to kind of give you some context, where it's focusing at is kind of like the jack of all trades. You know, this is a board that really is going to be great about giving you a solid gaming platform. It could be that you're a prosumer and you're looking to do maybe some editing on your system. It could be that you're a general user that wants productivity. You're checking out YouTube videos. You're doing a little bit of gaming. You're doing a little bit of everything. You could just be building a standard box, you know, or you could just be somebody that's trying out building for the first time. It works well. Now, our segment series boards like Tough and ROG and WS could of course also do any one of those things, but they're going to have more features and functions that are specifically catered towards a certain user. Whether that's going to be, overclockers or gamers or content creation people, things like that.
I was really surprised that that particular board's on the thing here, but last generation, the Sabertooth motherboard just sold like unbelievable hotcakes. Every time I turned around, every modder that I saw actually was going in the direction of that motherboard. So we're going to have one of those motherboards also coming out from this series, true?
Yeah, of course. Like we said, we talked about Tough, and we're going to be highlighting here on the channel Tough series, ROG, and WS as well. But this is focusing on the mainstream series. So mainstream is always going to give you guys the best representation of what ASUS is doing in terms of designs, features that are going to be consistent. If you guys checked out last year's video, we talked a lot about the design consistency between what you would get between, let's say, like a Deluxe, the Pro, and even, let's say, maybe over more value-oriented solutions like the Dash A. So with that, let's go ahead and first talk about what we really have here, what's new to our platform, features and designs and functionality. So we've got here our actual Deluxe board. If you actually want to go ahead and take it maybe out of the box, we can go ahead and take a look at that model there.
We'll take a look at this, folks. So we'll do like a unboxing for you here. Here.
In terms of what you're seeing, one of the biggest changes, of course, is that we've gone to an entirely new ID, right? So we have a new color theme. It being an entirely new color theme.
Gold.
Yes.
There's gold in them Dar Hills.
It's gold. And that's a pretty big change because we've previously had blue as being our standard motherboard color design. And kind of a little bit of the design story from there has been that, we felt we've kind of set the gold standard in motherboard design for years in terms of the features, the functionality, and the overall quality of what we bring to the table, and so that's now represented in this new ID design.
Or you've kidnapped Midas, like I said, and had him touch all the boards.
ASUS...
Speculating here, but it's possible.
ASUS is not a fan of breaking any law, so I think maybe we might have consulted with Midas. So let's go with that.
Consultation.
So, one of the things, of course, you're going to see is, like always, there's a huge amount of connectivity. You're going to see that we maintained our inclusion of Wi-Fi on a large number of SKUs. So we have the Deluxe, we have the Expert, we have the Pro, and we have the Plus, and we have the Dash A. Now, you guys might notice that, of course, here on the box, we don't have P8 anymore, right? And that's because we've also changed our naming convention. So the chipset name is now just Z87, and then the model name.
No more P.
No more P.
Since Pentium is gone, why not?
Just try to make it more simple. And we've also tried to have the naming convention align with maybe understanding where the board sits. So if we go from something, let's say, like the Plus board, which would be like our entry-level board right above the A, it's Plus versus the industry standard. You're getting a little bit more than what you would normally get, right? And then Pro means you've kind of stepped up to that next level. You're a professional user. You kind of really understand more about the board's design, the feature set, the functionality, probably a bit more about overclockability, aspects like that.
And there's always a slight difference, right, between each board. Each board has a slight different set of features than a set of basic features that go across the line.
I 100% agree that we have a great set of non-negotiable features that are not going to change between any one of the boards that you look at, and then you're going to get improvements in functionality as you keep stepping up because you're going to probably be a more advanced user. Going from the Pro board, what would you be after you're a professional? You become an expert, right, at something. So that's the expert series. And then after the expert, you have the deluxe, which is that representation that kind of gives you everything, right?
Yeah.
So on the deluxe here, if we take a look
like the everything bagel.
like what we have, you can see that we've got our Wi-Fi module, which we had in the previous generation. Previous deluxe was 802.11n, and it gave you dual band Wi-Fi. So that was a first amongst any motherboard vendor, and we had 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. This generation has been updated to 802.11 AC. So we have now AC, which is the fastest Wi-Fi, 2x2 solution, still giving you 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, plus Bluetooth 4.0. So that's integrated on the board.
Let's talk about something else, though. Now, this board with this new Wi-Fi also has a different type of connectivity through the board, right? Which actually allows us to work much better and seamlessly through the board without taking away from any of the other PCI stuff, true?
Correct. Well, it's still linked in through a PCI Express lane, but if we go ahead and just set this guy down here and maybe take a look at what we have here, we lift this little guy up. You can see right here, this is kind of the module. And we can show you guys here a little bit later on the board where it's direct slot. So the benefit of this type of design is, one, is that when it's housed directly in the I/O backplane, we're not affecting any of your slot expansion. So sometimes other competitors have Wi-Fi integration, but it's done through an add-in card. And so if it's done through an add-in card, and I have, let's say, I'm communicating maybe 3-way support for Crossfire, but I put something in that slot, guess what? I can't use it. It's not actually a 3-way enabled board. So our design, even though the spec could quote unquote be same, it's not really the same. So it's a more expensive and a complicated design, but we feel it gives you the best functionality. So that's a great plus point. In terms of the connectivity, a lot of things are going to be what you of course come to expect, but there's going to be a lot of consistent ASUS staple points, such as USB BIOS flashback. So that's our exclusive technology, which lets you flash the UEFI chip directly, no CPU, no memory, no graphics card.
I know, I think it's great. Got the board in the test station, you got it here, and you just look, like, hey, I want to flash the BIOS. You can instantly do it before you even start building your system.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Or if you had to recover your system, maybe from a failed overclock or a surge or spike or sag, something, you can do that.
I played around with it. It was actually really cool.
The Intel network controllers, which we've been big supporters of, we've updated this generation to the latest series.
Still using Intel?
Yes, but it's now the Intel I series network controller. So this controller actually has even better performance, more management functionality, and it's also going to even have lower CPU utilization. So it's overall a nice improvement to give you the best network connectivity and best performance. For the audio side, a large number of the boards, all the way going down to the Pro board, are going to feature a new updated ALC audio codec. So instead of the previous 800 series, it's now the ALC 1150. So that supports a higher level of specifications. So
big number jump there for those folks.
Yeah, because it's actually got a number of big changes to the codec. We still keep the DTS Ultra 2 PC sound package. So that's a nice software suite to go ahead and complement your audio.
Now, I know on some of the ROG boards, it was segregated away from the rest of the chipset. Is it done on this board as well? Is it still segregated apart?
So you're going to get an improvement on audio compared to the previous generation, but for you guys that want even better audio, then of course ROG is still going to maintain the Supreme Effects audio design. So that's an exclusive point for the ROG boards. Now, we're still going to also keep other special functions like the TPU and the EPU technologies. So we have our dual intelligent 4 processors, which allow you to have a lot of advanced controls for overclocking or for power efficiency.
How about the instant overclock? I got on the previous generation boards, there was like a little button you can go and click it, like automatically went to 4.3, and it was just like instantaneous overclock for like anybody could do it. Is it the same type of thing going on here?
Exactly, 100% right. So we've got a 2-stage EPU because there's some changes in the thermals. We can go ahead and now switch it into the second stage, and you can have as easy as a 4.25 gigahertz overclock in the flip of switch. Or you can go ahead and switch the EPU switch, which will be focused at power efficiency, reduce thermals, but it won't affect performance. It will just be an undervolt to the CPU. So if you want to keep stock performance, you're good to go there.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of guys out there now who are running like all this Bitcoin type stuff. Like if you were doing that, you could just switch that EPU switch, make sure you're getting the most energy proficient, and set that thing and forget about it, right?
100%. Now, coarse fan control functionality continues to be a big thing for our ASUS series boards. So, maybe you even take a look at another one of our boards that we have here, which is the Dash A. This is a value series motherboard, but you're still getting a huge amount of ASUS design quality, and something that we feel we pride ourselves on is fan control functionality. So every single one of these headers are all going to be 4-pin fan headers, and they all support both 3-pin and 4-pin controls.
So you can control everything through the BIOS, just like previous generation.
Correct.
True?
Fully through the UEFI, as well as fully in the operating system through our AI Suite 3.
Some of you guys out there, you get a motherboard, you hook a bunch of fans on it, you go into your BIOS, and you notice like, what up that frac. I can't control the fan at all. I can't do anything with it. You have to go out and buy like an aftermarket fan controller. Well, you don't have to do that at all on any of the ASUS boards. Everything's inside the BIOS. So anything you hook up to the fans, go into the BIOS, you'll be able to adjust it manually to how you want it to be.
Yeah, and we feel that it's a great feature to have consistently, even on something like our Dash A series, where this board is going to have great performance, great overclockability, but even still have that really robust level of control when it comes to fans. Now, we've gone ahead and made one other key improvement for the CPU fan headers, where I noted that the CPU fan headers also support 3 and 4 pin control, just like all the chassis fan headers. But we even have a new modified fan header. If you look closely right here, we'll have to get a tight-in shot for you guys.
Oh, yeah, nice little cut-in edge there.
Yeah, now this actually little depressant switch, which is right here on the CPU fan header. For you guys that are using more basic tower-based heatsink with maybe only a single fan, this will auto-detect the actual fan itself and allow it to know whether it's a 3-pin or 4-pin based solution.
Oh, that's really cool.
So you don't even have to actually assign that or configure that within there. So that's kind of just another layer or touch that's already integrated within.
Great for some of those guys using those sealed liquid cooling systems too.
Yeah, a really nice touch. Now, in terms of course, all the component quality, we still continue to be leaders in giving you best-in-class power delivery. So all the boards are featuring 5K rated capacitors. That's twice the lifespan of what you're going to see on competitors, which are generally using only 2K rated capacitors.
Extends the life of the motherboard.
Yeah, it just gives you overall a better confidence in that your product over time is going to be able to be reliable. But on higher end boards, of course, we're still going to have great high-end power components. So these are all our inductors. These are fully molded, high-performance alloy-based inductors. Really beefy, give you a great amount of power output, and you can feel confident.
These still are high-end Japanese quality components?
Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, the bigger thing that you have to kind of keep in mind is, what does that translate into if I buy a Deluxe versus a Pro or buy a Dash A? Are you saying that Deluxe, because of those better components, is going to have better overclockability? Actually, no. We feel confident that our power designs across all of these boards are going to give you great overclockability. I've done 4.8 gigahertz on this Dash A board, I've done 4.8 on the Pro board, and I've done 4.8 on the Deluxe board. All of them can do that without any issues. The main differential is going to be by the board that's going to give you the functionality and the connectivity you want. You know, Dash A...
And the features, because like, you know, some users may not want what's on the Deluxe board. You might go, oh, you know what, this particular system that I'm building is a very plain Jane system. It's for an office. I don't need that, but I still want a high quality motherboard. Then you can go ahead and get the entry-level board. But if you're somebody who loves the line, you want more features, then you just move up the line and take a look at what your needs are. Make your decision.
That's really the key, you know, is take a look at, you know, Dash A is only going to maybe have 6 SATA ports, but if I have a lot of connections that I need, Deluxe is going to give you 10. You know, maybe you don't need Wi-Fi, whereas the Deluxe and the Pro are going to give you Wi-Fi, and with the Deluxe even give you 811 AC. So we feel that we've tried to give you a huge amount of consistency on there, and there's going to be some really awesome features that we haven't talked on here about the UEFI as a whole, or AI Suite 3. Please make sure to check out those videos, because those features in terms of the UEFI and the software are going to blow you guys away, and they're going to be consistent on any one of these boards in terms of giving you more functionality, more feature set.
And features separate the wolf from the lamb. I mean, the features of a motherboard these days are what make it differentiate from something else. And at the end of the day, you know, a lot of people make boards when you have all the extra features that are there for the same price. That kind of what drives the user, you know, in a direction of buying a board.
We 100% agree, and that's where we think that we've spent the most time and effort to give you guys unique, thoughtful, designed implementations that really benefit you guys. So the last two things here that we're going to talk about is that, you know, as part of our whole lineup, we've talked about from high-end to value-oriented product, we're going to continue to offer diversified form factors like our mini ITX solutions. You can see here a lot of you guys loved the Dash I board. We took the Dash I board and we took a board that was essentially on steroids, and we made it even better. We went from 4 SATA ports to 6 SATA ports on it. We've integrated 4 full fan headers onto the board. They're all fully controllable for 3-pin and 4-pin operation. It has 8211 AC, so dual band Wi-Fi support with AC and Bluetooth. You got that new Intel iSeries NIC. You've got 6 USB ports on the back, plus 2 more on board, the independent power board solution. I mean, it's just an outright beast of a mini ITX solution. So you can see that this is a Deluxe board, just in the same vein as the ATX board is, but no compromise. This is our attention to detail, where we've done things and we designed them in the right way, where you can see that the space between the CPU socket and the PCIe slot, we actually give you space. That's important because if you use a bigger cooler, if you take a lot of other mini ITX boards, the socket's actually right above the PCIe slot. So if you use a big cooler, there's no way it fits. Yeah. It actually hits the graphics card. With our design, you can actually still use a normal full tower heatsink solution. I've put in dual 140 millimeter tower heat sinks on here, and it fits.
I know
it covers the whole
incredible.
board.
I know it's so small
but
too.
But it fits. Lasting things out, we're always about innovation. We're doing a lot of firsts here. We've done 811 AC. We've done entirely new topology designs. We have a new ID. We have new UEFI options. We have new types of software applications. And this is going to be a cool exclusive feature that we have on ASUS Z87 series boards. It's NFC support. So any one of the ASUS series boards that you're going to see will actually come included with support for this box. The Deluxe Dual, which features Thunderbolt, along with the Expert board, which also has Thunderbolt. Deluxe Dual will come included with this inside the box.
Oh, wow.
For you guys that want it as an option, but maybe buy like the Dash A or the Pro or the Mini ITX, it'll be sold as a separate accessory. But what will allow you to do is you can go ahead and connect it to one of the USB ports. It'll give you 2 USB ports because it also acts as a hub, but you'll be able to go ahead and take your latest generation smartphone or tablet and be able to run some really cool functions directly through the NFC box, such as logging into your system, doing quick file transfers, being able to launch even applications. So
and now NFC is near field communications.
Correct.
So that means basically, like you were telling me earlier, that it's actually not a protocol itself, but it allows things to use other protocols just to like basically make a handshake and instantly connect, correct?
Correct, yeah. It'll be generally using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to allow you to easily execute on functions that normally require a couple more steps, handshaking, authentication, passwords, stuff like that.
So like I'm a guy, I'm in my office, I've just taken a bunch of pictures of my Dick and Terry's that have visited my office. I want to really show them off. With this thing sitting on Amiga, I just basically go ahead, take my device, stick it on here, and it will automatically start transferring and everything onto my system, right?
Yeah,
if you set that particular protocol up?
Yeah, once you initiate the share function, then it can go ahead and do that for you.
What about for like music and stuff like that? Will it be able to do that like too? Like say you brought your music device here and placed it here. Would it be able to transfer that and then play it through your motherboard?
We're right now still fine-tuning the level of functionality that we're going to have available. So there's definitely going to be stuff that's available at launch for you guys to check out, such as login, quick file transfers, remote desktop. But we'll love to hear your guys' feedback at how we can keep improving it.
So let us hear your comments in the comments section. So, okay, I'm Elric. This is JJ. We've got lots more videos coming for you folks. So keep watching and we'll see you guys here on Tech of Tomorrow.